I remember seeing this beautiful polo neck from Miu Miu. I thought it was insane. But then, of course, in typical Miu Miu fashion, for this, that they slapped on that their Miu Miu sign. They did some knitting and they put 1,560 or something. Hey guys, welcome back to the Power Closet, a space for perspectives where conversation meets style. If you're new here, hi, what's up, what's poppin', lockin', droppin', stoppin', rockin'. My name is Tumi. I make all sorts of videos from fashion, conversation, lifestyle, and everything in between. Why, hello, my internet friends. I feel like the most obvious question, like, shall we address the elephant in the room? Tumi, where the heck have you been? If you're new to my channel, hi. Well, you probably are not asking that question, but if you're a long-time returning subscriber, you know that I've been a little bit MIA for the last couple of weeks, and I can explain. I can really explain. So I'm going to give you the short version because I don't have the release to go into the long version. But the short version of it was, I was exhausted. And I first of all want to even just start by saying thank you so much to every single person that sent me a message, that like DM'd me, that maybe silently prayed for me. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You don't even understand what those messages did. I remember there were quite a few messages that I got that literally got me teary. Like, I literally just saw tears coming down my eye. I was just like, this is very, very beautiful. And for me, it really, really encouraged my spirit because it reminded me of the fact that even when your community is small, people are watching. And I was so happy to see that all the effort that I put in, that my team put in, it is being noticed, in the sense that I do have a community. That someone actually noticed that I was gone, and I really, really appreciate that. And I love the fact that the people who reached out to me, they did ask, like, may God strengthen you. And if you're new to this channel, like, you know that Tumi constantly talks about the finer things of life, but I'm someone that is through and through a Jesus baby. And this whole journey of YouTube was one that got inspired. And at some point in time, I realized that walking with God in faith is no easy journey. It's not an easy thing. And it had come to the point where I feel like I had come to the end of myself, and I was so exhausted. I didn't even realize how exhausted I was up until I took a break. And then I thought, okay, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, and 1 week turned to 8 weeks. Even me coming back here, it literally took the strength of God to be like, to me, you have to go back to work now. And God was like, one step in front of the other. You don't have to have everything planned out, everything beautiful. Let's just start with one video that I know that you're going to enjoy doing, and then we'll take it from there. So that is the short version. The long version, there's a lot more episodes to it, but we're going to spare the new subscribers, and literally I'll spare you guys the details. Maybe at some point I would go into a deep dive, but not today. But really, honestly and truly, if you thought of me, said a prayer, sent me a message for your patience, thank you so much. And even when I had this channel, there's a scripture that I love so much. The Bible says that unless the Lord builds the house, they that build it build in vain. Unless the Lord watches the tower, they who watch it in vain. And the whole essence of that video speaks about how when God is the one that gives you something, He's the one that sustains it and keeps it going. Well, thankfully, I don't have 0 subscribers, which means that truly and honestly, God is the one that's been building this channel. And even for the fact that on other social media platforms, I actually did see growth. It wasn't anything astronomical, but it didn't crash. And there were a few numbers here and there. So it was still alive, which is a beautiful thing to witness. So now that I'm done with, the introductions and me telling you where I've been, I guess the next question is, how am I now? I am much, much, much better. Still on the mend, if I'm being very, very honest, but I'm miles better than where I was. I think it was like at the end of August, no, at the end of July. Miles better. Like, that is pretty much it. Now that we are done with formalities, if you are new here, it would mean the world to me if you subscribed. I'm constantly trolling my current subscribers about begging them for more subscribers because it takes a lot to make a lot of these videos. And whilst it might look easy, like, oh no, is it just putting on a camera? No, there's so much that goes on into YouTube. YouTube is a full-time job. It is like the main meal. There is a lot that goes on behind it. So please do subscribe. Also check out all my other social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram. I tend to make the joke that if you looked at my other social media platforms, you see that I can be a little bit more active. Okay, for the last 2 months, I haven't been as active, but we're getting things rolling again. So you're going to see me a lot more often. I think we are done with formalities. So now we're going to jump right into today's video. Now, guys, I thought I'd do something that I'm super excited about. You guys know that I love dreaming. I love making my mood boards. I love planning my outfits, my style, what it is that I want to have in my wardrobe, yada, yada, yada. And of course, so it's interesting because whilst I was a bit low, I wasn't really able to do this as much, but my eyes were really picking up on trends, what's going to be popping, what we need to get in our wardrobe, that kind of shebang. And I've got you guys covered. I've gotten a list of things which I believe are pretty much fall trends. Well, some of them are trendier than others, but whatever the case may be, I love all these trends. I think they're absolutely incredible and I can't wait to share them with you guys. So let's just jump right in. Starting off super strong is probably one of my favorite trends that is ongoing right now for the fall season, and it is none other than pony hair and calf hair skin. Now, I started seeing this a few months ago. I would see them on like coats, I'll see them on bags, but the one that really took my breath away was when I saw this beautiful coat from Nour Hammour. Now, Nour Hammour is a brand that makes incredible and exquisite outerwear, so like coats, jackets, all that kind of good stuff. The only problem, okay, you guys know when I find things on a budget, I'll tell you this one is not your budget. It's not the budget kind of thing. No, you got to bring out the coins for them. Okay, it is super duper expensive, but then the quality looks absolutely phenomenal. So there was this calf hair coat that I saw on Nour Hammour. Now it is priced at 2,590. Now I'm sure you're like, Tumi, you're starting off really strong. Clearly you've been on a break and the first thing you decide to hit us with is 2.6k. I can explain. Okay, I can explain. Now, to even tell you that 2.6k, I think it's pretty much well priced for Nour Hammour, but what even caught my breath was the fact that COS, of course, has also caught onto this whole calf hair trend, and COS has one in store, and COS's own is 1.3 thousand. COS. Hello, 1.3k. They even have a skirt on COS. I think it's around 650 pounds. So it's also pony hair, calf hair. Now, the reason why I really love the whole pony hair trend is because I think it is incredibly chic. And I think when I have to explain my style would be classic with the twist, in the sense that I'm someone that has a very refined palette. So my colors tend to be around the more neutral, but I love things with a twist. A good case in point will be this top, right? This is a beautiful top that I got from Vass. It's a black turtleneck. Well, it's not really turtleneck, it's more mock neck-ish. It's a black top, right? But what really makes it stand out is this pom-pom detail. So the pom-pom detail and the contrast in textures, and of course the cutout detail, really takes it from being just a basic black turtleneck to something a lot more interesting. So that tends to be my style. Now, when you see pony hair, that's exactly what we're doing, right? It's a black coat, but then the pony hair detail just takes it to another level, which means that when you're wearing something as chic or as simple as jeans and a tee and the pony hair coat, I was about to fall down, but I'm like, I probably shouldn't do that on the internet. Yeah, I think it's incredible. So if you have the buck, I think this is a wonderful spend. Also, definitely check out Nour Hammour, because I know that they do 10% off for your first purchase. So you can get 260 pounds off, which is really nice. Next trend I'm seeing is definitely leopard print. Really, I should call this animal print. And if you look around the shops, you would see that there is a lot of animal print going on. For example, there is like the whole Khaite animal print skirt, which was beautiful. But then, you guys, I saw the price and I said, then you know the worst part about it? It was sold out. I said, who paid 5k for this skirt? Like, who buys all these things? Can you guys come and like say hi? Really, honestly and truly, Khaite has so many leopard print stuff ongoing, and even like snake skin, all that kind of good stuff. They also have like these heeled boots. I think they're like 90mm boots that also have the leopard print, which makes you see that leopard is really, really in. Even when I think of like shoes from like Christian Louboutin, there's a lot of leopard over there. Nour Hammour also has that calf hair coat, also in leopard, hence pointing to the fact that leopard is really, really in. Now, for the fall season, I actually really, really do like leopard print. It's nothing novel. I mean, it was there last season, but I think it is incredibly chic. And it's because it's one of those things where you don't have to do the most. You just wear something, a leopard print top, some jeans, flats, and you look more put together, refined, without doing the most. And that's another thing about my style. I really like looking refined, but I want it to be effortless. I don't want to have to think about so many compartments, so many. I don't have time for that nonsense, okay? One thing, let it be a bit more statementy to make the whole outfit, you know, just lift a bit and make it a lot more interesting. And I feel like leopard print does this really well. Next trend, burgundy. Well, duh, nothing novel at all. Okay, every fall season, every winter season, burgundy is always there. And The places that I've been loving are like COS. COS has this incredible turtleneck burgundy top, which I thought is absolutely sensational. Now, the thing I really enjoy from COS year on year is actually their merino wool turtleneck top. Now, the reason is because I feel like it is not too thick and is not too light, which makes it the perfect item for layering. I have it in leopard, and in my basket now, I think I have it in green, light beige, and burgundy. I think I have those 3 colors in my basket. I feel like the one I'm most excited to buy is the beige, but then I couldn't decide. Like, I was like, Tumi, do you really need to buy all 3 right now? Stay tuned. We'll see which one I end up getting. I think I want to get 2 at the very minimum. And also, COS was nice enough to send me 20% off. So of course I had to take them up on the offer. But anyway, I really love the burgundy. Another brand that I saw that does burgundy really well is Victoria Beckham. So you guys, this is where I tell you, I show you the budget. This one, it's not really like the budget place, right? It's not really, you have to spend a bit more money, but it's Victoria Beckham, right? The quality is sensational. She does incredible flared pants and incredible trousers. When I saw her burgundy trousers, I was like, this is absolutely gorgeous. The reason why I really like it is because burgundy also classifies as a neutral while still being a pop of color. It also pairs well with quite a lot of neutrals. So you can wear it with black, you can wear it with like beigey tone stuff, you can wear it with brown. So it's very wearable even though it's color, which is something I absolutely love. Still in the color territory, a color that I really saw popping off, like, or I've seen around the shops and I feel like it's looking super trendy, is actually mauve. And I really love the contrast of burgundy and mauve. Not contrast, but rather the pairing of burgundy and mauve. And I feel like the outfit that really took it home was this styling I saw on Victoria Beckham. She had a scarf neck detail top that was pink, and then these burgundy trousers, or burgundy mauvish trousers, and it was absolutely sensational. But I really am loving the mauve detail. Again, in Victoria Beckham, I saw these flared pants. I think they retail for around 490 or something around that mark, which for Victoria Beckham, by the way, is pretty good. Which is pretty good because sometimes even one of her shirts is 500 or something pounds. So that is pretty good. And then other than that, I also really love the COS light beige pinky turtleneck top. It has a pinky tone, but it's also beige, which is really nice. So it can pass as like an everyday neutral, and then if you look a little bit more closely, you'll be like, oh, it has a pinky tone to it. And it's also 45 pounds. Well, unless you're me, but you get an extra 20% off. I'm just joking. But it's actually 45 pounds, which is pretty good. So not bad at all. Another trend I saw was full skirts, and I've seen that quite a lot. So I've seen it in like Max Mara, I've seen it with Jacquemus, and those are the 2 that were really prominent when I was like having a look. Of course, there were other places that had full skirts, but those are the ones that I really loved. And it reminded me of this skirt that I'm absolutely obsessed with. It's actually the COS balloon skirt. I know quite a few of you have bought that skirt. Even my best friend bought it too, and she was like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. That skirt is constantly on repeat in my wardrobe. And that is the thing I really like about buying well. When you buy clothes really well. So I remember the COS skirt wasn't the cheapest. When they came out with it, I think it was 110. And even me, before I give them the 110, I was thinking, I said, this thing better be worth it. You COS and you people and your prices. But I love that skirt so much. It serves me in winter, it serves me in fall, it serves me in the summer. Like, it's one of those skirts where you can wear in and out of seasons, and I really love that. So when I saw the full skirt trend, I don't want to call it a trend, but when I really saw that it was popping off, to me, isn't that the same thing as trend? You get my point. I was like, I really like this because it kind of reminds me of why I really like the COS one. I think the voluminous detail really just adds something to an outfit. It really allows you to play with structure and proportions, which is something that takes your outfit to another level. So if you're not going to do it with like color or like textures, another way you can make your outfit super interesting is by adding proportions. So if you have like a shirt that is a bit more cinched in at the top and the skirt is a bit more flared at the bottom, the proportions makes your outfit a lot more interesting. And yeah, just pretty cool. So I really like that. I feel like I even styled this. I remember thinking about it with some knee-high boots, so like the Max Mara skirts, knee-high boots, a really nice crop trench coat, and just a simple bag. So the proportions, so cinched in at the waist, flared skirt. Can I not speak English? Cinched in at the waist, flared skirt, and then knee-high boots just makes the outfit so interesting. Now, you guys, this particular trend, I love it so much. I was actually pretty gutted that the one that I loved sold out. Now, it is actually a crop trench coat, but with a scarf detail. Now, the first place I actually saw it on was on Phoebe Philo. Phoebe Philo had this leather crop trench coat with this scarf detail. Then, of course, in classic anti-Phoebe territory, I checked the price and this thing was almost 6K. I was like, oh, that's a really wonderful price. We'll buy it when they subscribe. But for now, let's go and look for something a little bit more sensible. And this was where I went on Revolve and I found this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trench coat. It is from a brand called Eves. And I feel like this retails around the £350 mark. Now, I thought it is absolutely gorgeous. I'll also show you a way that I thought of styling it. I thought a good layering moment would be phenomenal. So if you just have barrel leg trousers, some knee-high boots, like a turtleneck underneath, and then this scarf neck trench coat, it would be absolutely stunning. Now, if it was a day where in the nighttime it was a bit more cold, you could also add in some gloves for some added oomph, which would be really, really incredible. But I thought this coat sensational. You can also see that it's pretty good because I think it's like one of their best sellers on Revolve currently. So definitely check it out. So the next one, I don't really know if it's a trend, but it's just something that I really love. And they're these super oversized, semi-obnoxious sunglasses, like they're really bam in your face. And the first brand that I saw that did this was also Phoebe Philo. She had these like shield / oversized sunglasses that were just super huge, really, really huge. It reminds me of this one that I have on my TikTok where I was like, zzz, zzz, I'll put it here. I thought that one was so funny. And I think that one I tried on from TikTok, it was a while ago, it was from Tom Ford. And another brand that is currently doing this is Bottega Veneta. It's reminiscent of one that I get asked about all the time, but this one I have is from a high street brand. Another story is it's like this shield sunglasses. But these are a bit more aviator style, but I love the fact that they're super oversized and in your face. I will say though, I haven't actually tried these kind of sunglasses on my own face. Actually, I have the Tom Ford ones. I don't remember why I didn't buy the Tom Ford ones. I don't remember. I need to think about that. But I do think that these ones are incredibly chic. The next trend, I've actually spoken to you guys about this a few months ago. Can you see? Look at me predicting. I got some sauce. I remember speaking to you guys about this a few months ago. Like this was well into like early summer season, and it was none other than velvet shoes. So I remember finding this particular brand called Fabulous, and they make these incredible velvet slip-on shoes. I think they are absolutely stylish. Now, I'm going to give myself a round of applause because you wouldn't believe it. I think a couple of months after I was like crushing on them, super obsessed, Harrods started carrying them, and then next Selfridges started carrying them, and I was like, this is actually pretty incredible because now obviously they're like becoming way more mainstream. Now, the reason I really love Fabulous is actually because they're super stylish and they're also super affordable. So they retail for roughly £200. Now, when I tried on these shoes, they literally feel like you're walking on clouds. I will say though that you have to size up. So I remember trying on the 40 in Selfridges and I tried on the black. I loved it, but it wasn't the colorway that I want. I'll put a picture of the colorway that I actually want to get. I'm thinking of getting, I think it's the dark blue one with like a light blue trimming. That one says limited stock though, so I probably should buy that before this goes live. But yeah, that is called the Mafalda, and I think it is incredibly beautiful. And again, explaining why I love that. So remember how I said that my palette and how I tend to dress is refined, but I love some details that, you know, just take it to another level. I feel like the velvet material just makes it a little bit more interesting. Second of all, the two-toned contrast of like the trimming and the actual color of the shoe, I really, really like that. I also feel like the deep navy blue makes it a neutral without it being black, because my current everyday go-to shoes would be my Alaya ballerinas. And if I wanted something else, it would probably be like my Chanel ballet flats. So those are black and black. It's enough. We have two black shoes. Let's go and get something else that is a bit more interesting, which is why I'm really, really thinking about the blue ones. I feel like my plan for Fabulous would be to go to their store in, I think it might be Sloane Square. I keep saying I want to go there. So I want to literally see everything and I make my decision. I think I'm leaning towards the blue, but who knows? Like, stay tuned. I will probably document that on TikTok. And when I do, you can come along with me and see which one I end up buying. But I absolutely love the shoes. Now, why I realized it was a trend is because Chanel and Celine are also doing something very similar. It's like Venetian slippers. They have the same thing, their own rendition. Whilst I really love, I was going to say whilst I really love the Chanel and the Celine one, but the truth is I actually really don't. I like the Fabulous, and it's also less than half the price. So if you like the Chanel ones and the Celine ones, by all means, but I personally think the Fabulous one, chef's kiss. I wouldn't really call this a trend, right? And I actually tried them on today. These are, I call them elbow gloves, but to me, I'm pretty sure this is not what they're called. It is not a trend, right? But the reason I'm putting this here is because by the time it's like really, really cold, these items are usually sold out. Take it from someone that it happened to last year. I remember there were these particular gloves from COS. It was a cashmere lined pair of gloves, but by the time it got really cold, my hands were freezing and falling off, and I had to be like stalking COS for them to come back in stock. So that's why I'm trying to tell you sooner rather than later. So you're gonna get this early October so that when it's like November and it's freezing, you already have this in store. Now the trend or thing I'm loving it per se is actually gloves that go all the way up to your elbows. I think that they're incredibly chic. Now the way that I would wear this is definitely to add a statement to my outfit. So if you think of like a black jacket and then you wore these gloves all the way up, oh, absolutely incredible. The ones I love are from De Savary. I feel like these retail for 150 pounds. I'll put a video of me trying them on today. I think they're absolutely incredible. I will say though that the De Savary one was a little bit snug. So it did fit my arm eventually, but it was a bit of like a tug. So it would be one I would recommend maybe going into their store and trying it on yourself, or order it, and if it doesn't work, you could always send it back. I was checking COS and I actually saw something very beautiful. So they had this steel, and the one that took my breath away was the one in beige. That retails for 95. So I think that this is pretty good. I remember paying 65 for the short cashmere gloves that I got from COS last year. So if you're paying a little bit more and you get that statement glove and it's one you'd wear in and out of seasons, I think it's incredible. It is such a statement piece, and it would wear so well in a wardrobe. Now, whilst I love coats and jackets and all these kind of good stuff, your accessories are so essential to taking your outfits to a whole new level. You guys, barrel leg jeans don't seem to be going anywhere. They are still very much being pushed everywhere you look. I remember being on COS seeing barrel leg wool trousers, and then the ones that I'm sharing with you guys today is actually a pair of jeans that I saw on Stud. Now I feel like I love these jeans primarily because of the wash. I really love the strong indigo wash. I think it is absolutely incredible. But if you know anything about me and you've been here a very long time, you'll know that I'm a rider when it comes to a Goldie. A Goldie jeans are absolutely incredible. I really can't wait for them to run me my check, because I remember being with my friend literally like 3 days ago. We were at Selfridges. She saw my jeans and she was like, "Oh, where'd you get your jeans from?" I was like, "A Goldie." We're literally at Selfridges. She tried on the jeans. So it was the Goldie Pierce Luna jean, and she literally bought them on the spot. And I was like, you know what, Goldie, you really need to run me my check, because I literally told everybody about how I love this brand so much. Whilst it's not cheap, like, because they're $3.30 a piece, they are incredibly stylish. They wear so well, and they're just insanely tasteful. So it's not cheap, and I think the Stud one is a little bit cheaper, but these kind of jeans, they add such beautiful proportions to an outfit that it makes the most simplest of outfit just look way more interesting, just because you just added, you know, some structure. So definitely check those out, because they're not going anywhere anytime soon, hopefully. Next trend we have polo necks. Now this is pretty much every single wear. I remember seeing this beautiful polo neck from Miu Miu. I thought it was insane. But then of course, in typical Miu Miu fashion, for this that they slapped on that their Miu Miu sign, they did some knitting and they put 1,560 or something. I said, I was like, oh my god, this is so expensive. And then a few days later, I remember COS sent me an email, and I remember the cover image was this knitted polo neck top, which was just so beautiful. I feel like this one is around 95 pounds. So it's giving dupe, but it's not really a dupe, because you can't really dupe. The one from Miu Miu is second to none. I remember seeing this on a creator and I gasped. Literally gasped. Absolutely sensational. The COS one is definitely beautiful though, so definitely have a look. And if you look everywhere, you see like polos are really making a comeback. I remember even seeing the striped one from H&M. It was so beautiful, even though it's sold out now. And even when I saw it, I was like, I can understand why this is sold out, because it is absolutely gorgeous. We also have some other ones that are more affordable from like COS and like Massimo, but polos, the striped detail, super in, like very, very trendy and very cool right now. Another trend, which I don't really know if it's as popping again, but I remember like 4 or 5 weeks ago, it was really all I could think of. Like I was literally just thinking about getting my hands on this particular item, and they're actually balloon pants. I feel like they came to the forefront thanks to Alaya, but I just said Alaya, right? So these trousers retail for roughly like 1,800 on Alaya, if I'm not mistaken. I did find a pair that I got from ASOS. Now, the ASOS one, I think I'm gonna rate it like a 7 out of 10. There was something about it, it didn't feel as refined as I would have liked it. So the ASOS ones I got were burgundy, which is why I ended up returning it. I don't really love it. I have seen their other versions on Revolve, which I'll put a link below, which I think are they look super, super duper cool. I think Helsa also has like a piece or something of that sort. Actually, there's also another Nigerian brand that I'll put their stuff in the bottom where theirs looks super refined. I think they do like a denim one, but like harem pants, balloon pants, they're pretty much coming back in fashion, which also shows you how cyclical fashion is. Because I remember, wasn't I wearing this for my class party at some point, like 10 years ago? It was like, oh, this was like the thing I wanted to wear to school to, you know, show them that I'm a top babe. I don't even know what I'm saying, but really, honestly and truly, this was raining many, many years ago. And lo and behold, it's like back in fashion now. So I do think they're super cool. I haven't bought one just yet. Well, or rather, I bought one and I didn't love it on me. Definitely give it a try though. Maybe you think differently. I remember one of my best friends, she saw it on me and she was like, Tumi, I really like this item. But I don't know, like she kept saying she loved it on me. And I was like, I'm sure now you're like, Tumi, can you show? I would show it to you guys, but the way I took the video is it's not feasible for the internet. But she loved it on me. I didn't really love it on myself, which is why I gave it back. But balloon pants, I definitely want to buy a pair. One that is giving cool and like edgy, but it still looks refined and it still looks like me. So I look like myself. I don't want to look like a clown or anything of that sort. And last but not least, the last thing which I have been seeing would be plaid and flannels. Yeah, plaid and flannels. So you can see this pretty much everywhere, which is also reminiscent of the fact that we're in fall, right? Like I feel like flannels are obviously to like keep you more warm and just down to the material. I also really like this whole thing COS has going on. They had this like plaid turtleneck top with like a plaid skirt, and they also have the same plaid turtleneck in like blue, which I think is pretty cool. So it just shows you that that's also something that is really interesting for the season. I also saw some really cool ones on like Bottega Veneta, so if that's something that you're interested in, definitely have a look. But yeah, I think that's it. Woo! You guys, I really came back to spend a lot of time with you guys. Look at definitely let me know which one is your favorite trend that I've spoken about. Let me know if there are any ones you're going to be picking up, the ones that you're super excited to try. I feel like there are quite a lot that I'm excited to try, but I just don't know why the one that I'm most excited about happens to be the most expensive one, which is I really want a pony hair coat. But right now I'm thinking I don't have 2.6k to give anyone, but let's see what happens. I thought of also going to check like a vintage fur market to see if they have that kind of coat. But yeah, because if you're going to buy it from Nour Hammour, you have to spend 2.6. If you're going to get it from COS is a high street brand. Okay, premium high street, 1.3. Like I'm not expecting it to be £100. Like it's not gonna be £100, like come on. But let's see what happens, right? You know how I'm very good at finding all these like crazy discounts. Let's see if I can get lucky with pony hair. Like let me see if I can challenge myself to find anything that'll be exquisite but be for like a reasonable price and it isn't 2.6k. But there are so many other ones that I'm interested in, like the Mauve, the Burgundy, all that kind of good stuff. Stay tuned, guys. Follow me on TikTok and you see me as I try on all these incredible trends. But I think that's it for today. Okay, she's coming back with a bang after being away for so long. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and for everyone that said a prayer, sent me a message, and even wondered where I was. I really did miss you guys. I truly did. I didn't realize how much I missed you guys up until I put on the camera and then I said my popping, locking, dropping. You know, it's actually crazy how you guys actually remember that thing, popping, locking, dropping. And it's like, I don't know where it came from, but that's all for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
I like luxury.